Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I've got the great pleasure of unboxing our collaboration with Chopard. This is, of course, the Chopard 1860 Flying T Special Revolution, an incredible flying tourbillon, stop second flying tourbillon that is 36.5 mm in diameter, 8.2 mm in terms of height. It's an automatic watch with a micro rotor, which is a bidirectional micro rotor. It receives both the COSC certification as well as the Geneva seal. So without further ado, let's take a look at this because this is a watch I've been dying to see. The first thing I want to show you is a watch that I'm wearing on my wrist, which is in some ways connected to the watch that you're going to see here. This is, of course, the Chopard L.U.C 1860. This is our Revolution, the Rake Special Edition, but this was a watch that was created back in 1987 and was the very first watch that launched the L.U.C brand. So 25 years later, the question is, of course, well, what would be the fittest and kind of coolest commemoration to this incredible 25-year history? And I think we've created something along those lines. I hope you guys agree with me. So let me just open this. So as you can see, we've got this beautiful marquetry box. I somehow love the fact that it's matte. I just find that to be somehow elegant. I'm going to take it out of the box and we'll push that over here. And let's open it, right? And there you go. That is glorious to behold, and that is the new Chopard L.U.C 1860 Flying T Special Revolution, a watch that is a tribute to the very original watch they created back in 1987, but now replete with Chopard's Flying Tourbillon, which is a stop-second tourbillon. So when I pull out the crown here, you're going to see that the balance stops. And there you go, and then the cage also stops, which I think is really remarkable, and that means that you can set the watch to the maximum accuracy. Let's actually move the hands a little bit so you can see the tourbillon a little bit better. What I love about this also is that if you look at the cage, you can see that there's a little arrow indicator, which is approximately 15 here. And that is the seconds indicator, which is a real rarity in tourbillons, right, in modern tourbillons. And then you're gonna say, well, okay, but I don't see any seconds indexes, and you're right. But actually, if you look really closely under a loop, what you're going to see is 60 tiny micro-engraved seconds that are integrated into the guilloche pattern, which I think is really, really remarkable. Now I'm going to press this back in, and you're going to see balance wheel starts, and the tourbillon starts working as well. Tourbillon cage starts rotating. So looking at this dial, which obviously is based on this, the first thing you're going to notice that it's a salmon-colored dial. But actually, what's amazing about this, as is with all these Chopard L.U.C watches, and this is actually an or massif dial, which is a solid gold dial made by Metal M, which is to me the best dial producer in Switzerland. And then it has a pattern called guilloche en main. And guilloche en main is where you take a rose engine with a large pattern and it's reduced by gear reduction, and it's traced onto a tiny dial, but it's being guided by a human being. Looking at the dial, I think, you look at these two watches and you see what a masterpiece of design that the Chopard L.U.C 1860 was from the very beginning. And to have a tourbillon version of this now is something rather extraordinary to me. Let's flip it around, and what you're going to see here is you're going to see the micro rotor. So now it's in rose gold to match the beautiful salmon hue of the dial on the other side. And you can see that this is the bridge that bears the entire weight of the pinion of the tourbillon cage. So everything is rotating based on the weight that's been placed on that bridge there. The architecture of this is actually quite similar to that of the caliber 1.96 because it is based on that movement. So I'll show you both movements side by side. But of course, this contains a flying tourbillon. Now, what I find really remarkable about this watch is that even though it has this incredible COSC certified flying tourbillon, in terms of thickness, it is only 1 mm thicker. So this is 7.2 mm and this is 8.2 mm in terms of thickness. How does it wear on the wrist? Well, this is what I love about this watch, right? Like at 36.5 mm in diameter, it's somewhere in terms of size between, like, let's say a Patek 1518, which was 35 mm, and let's say a Patek 2499, which was 37.5 mm. But to me, what's really cool about it is it looks almost like a vintage watch, right? Actually, it looks a little bit like a Philippe Dufour Simplicity. I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but actually, when I look at it, I think about, like, what if Dufour had done a tourbillon version of the Simplicity? Like, I feel it would have been this watch. But it's extraordinary. And I love the fact that it has, it's got this beautiful kind of classic vibe to it in terms of its size, yet it has this super innovative, super high functioning movement thanks to the tradition of innovation at Chopard L.U.C. Absolutely stunning watch. We've made 5 of these. One of them's just been sold, so we've got 4 of them left. And if you're interested, please let us know. You can come see it. It's at the Revolution Watch Bar. The price to me is also remarkably good. It's 120,000 Swiss francs, 121,000 US dollars, and 166,000 Singapore dollars, and I just love it. Thanks, guys.